qualifiers of the last FNCS major of 2024 have recently concluded, which means anybody who didn't qualify for the semi-finals or the Global Championship now has 6 months with no major tournaments, giving them a chance to improve massively and try to go pro. So in this video I'm going to be going over how you can use this time most effectively to go pro in 2024. So I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, one of the most important points I'm going to make is that for the next 6 months especially, you should be placing a heavy focus on solos. This is because there's no FNCS, only duo cash cups, so there's no real reason to heavily focus on duos. Also, it's much easier to work on your own gameplay and to improve as a player than it is to improve while playing with a duo, because all mistakes you make when playing solos are your own, while in duos you're not necessarily always going to be the reason you die. This means you can more easily VOD review your own gameplay and increase your rate of improvement. In addition to this, until you secure some decent solo placements, or in the case of the game now, a few wins in solo victory cup finals, you're not going to be able to get a duo who's good enough for you to be able to succeed in duos, and there's no point putting effort into improving with a player who isn't as good as you, when you could more easily put all your time into improving in solos and get a much better duo, increasing your chance of success in duos. All this being said, I'm not at all suggesting you quit duos, but maybe just take it as an opportunity to have some fun and competitive, whether that be playing with IRLs and duo cash cups or using them to enjoy keying and fighting. Just remember, while you're playing duos, you should have no expectations of your placement, especially if you're playing with someone who isn't as good as you. Something you need to remember when practicing and trying to go pro is that you need to be staying focused. When playing any game, but Fortnite especially, it's really easy to drift into playing for fun, whether that be playing creative FFAs with friends or playing pubs. Although this is enjoyable, it hinders your improvement and is a complete waste of time. This is especially important if you know you're someone who doesn't have much time on the game anyway, as all of your time needs to be going into improving your gameplay. To this point, many may counter with the fact they see pros playing creative and reload with their friends all day, and to this I'd give two responses. Firstly, pros have already gone through all of the work to get to the level they're at now, and it's much easier to maintain skill than to build it in the first place. And secondly, for pros, this is their job, they have nothing else to do, so if they want to spend 10 hours a day playing the game, they do have some time to have some fun, while also leaving time to work on their game. Overall, almost everyone in the competitive community would unanimously agree that a small amount of focused time is infinitely more helpful for improvement than a large amount of wasted time. Next, something that's of paramount importance when attempting to go pro in Fortnite is your consistency. Nobody's gone pro by playing the game for 6 hours every day for a week and then not playing at all for a week. You need to be playing the game for around the same amount of time each day, and you need to be ensuring you're doing things like mechs and aim training every day, forming a routine to help. It's really easy, especially now with no FNCS, to lose motivation to grind, but you need to remember what it is you're grinding for. Even though there isn't an FNCS announced, there will be one next January, and you can take advantage of the massive break to make sure you're the best you can be before then. Ultimately, in January, there are two situations. You spent the last 6 months grinding, have insane aim, got some earnings in solos, and secured a good duo, so you can pretty much guarantee making the second, possibly third, and maybe even fourth round of FNCS qualifiers. Or, you spent the last 6 months playing pubs and creative with your friends, have $0 in earnings, and are left with a terrible duo and would never be able to make it past round 1. A misconception with being a pro gamer is that it's the best job because it's so fun, but it's not. Fortnite pros probably haven't had fun while practicing to be how good they are now. They get their enjoyment from seeing themselves improve and pushing themselves to the best they can be. So, my final point in the video is that if you're not willing to do all of this, maybe being a pro just isn't the right path for you to go down. And this isn't a bad thing. If you want to continue playing tournaments for fun, go ahead, but you have to realise that it'll be almost impossible for you to go pro without putting in an insane amount of work and staying disciplined, which 99% of the Fortnite player base is just unwilling to do. Being a Fortnite pro is arguably one of the most miserable and tiring jobs there is, so you really have to want it if you're going to go pro. So, I hope this video has helped you understand how you can go pro, and possibly decide if you even want to go pro at all. I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.